Okay, here are the results that we're going to record. We're going to try to record them in these little spaces here. So I'm zoomed in and trying to draw these pictures of these items. So again, this is demonstrating Bernoulli's principle, and where we have an increased velocity, we have a decrease in pressure. So in this first scenario, what was happening is we had this little card. I'm going to draw it over here. We have this card. You can try to draw it in 3 dimensions as well, like that. Okay, so there's our card, and what we did is we blew in some air right here, and again what was happening is you're increasing the velocity of the air underneath this little table, which is going to then decrease the pressure according to Bernoulli. So what's happening is we had low pressure underneath and we had higher pressure up above, and the pressure tried to equalize itself, so we had the card was getting sucked down and pushed down because of that. So again, we have the increased velocity, decreased pressure, creating the low pressure underneath, the higher pressure up above. We're going to draw the second one over here. And what we had is, I'm going to try to draw this as best as I can. I might use some of the space up here. We had this cup with air being blown in. And this was connected to the tube. And we had the ping pong ball right underneath. So what was happening is right here, at this point underneath, this is where the airflow is coming from, and it's again increasing the velocity of the airflow. It decreases the pressure. So what happened is it created this low pressure underneath the ball, and it was higher pressure all around it. So what was happening is that higher pressure was trying to equalize the lower pressure, and it was actually pushing the ball back down. So the ball couldn't go up because the pressure kept pushing it back down. Then when I removed, going back over here, when I removed the cup, and we just had this tube going upward like this, the ball was actually able to float up. So what was happening here is we were creating this nice stream of air all around the ball. And again, when you increase the velocity, it decreases the pressure. So it was creating low pressure here and low pressure here, but also it was low pressure and low pressure here. Where is it higher pressure? The higher pressure is from all the different sides. And even from down below, we had higher pressure. We had higher pressure. And it's trying to push in on the ball, but it was also pushing up slightly on the ball as well. So it wasn't being pushed down, it was allowed to be lifted up. And the fourth one, we had this cup that had water and it had a straw. And I had another tube here that was blowing on this. So we had the velocity going like this. So we have, again, an increase in velocity of the airflow is going to create lower pressure. It was actually lower pressure up above, and where is it higher pressure? It was higher pressure down below here inside the straw. So the higher pressure tried to equalize the lower pressure, and it pulled the water up with it, and it caused this little spray that was coming out of the straw as well. So we're not going to answer any of these questions. These are the major principles of Bernoulli.